Okay, so we're gonna make some dragon's blood. So first off, we need 48-ounce bottle of real lemon. You can add more or less depending on your taste, but this is what we're gonna do. This is my version of it. And then the recipe calls for 6 pounds of berry blend. It's got blackberries, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries in it. I'm gonna go ahead and just add 8 pounds because that's what they come in. And then we need 20 cups of sugar, which is really close to 5 pounds of sugar. This is only half the sugar, but we'll go ahead and add that. And then we need 1 teaspoon of wine tannin, 3 teaspoons of yeast nutrient, 1 teaspoon of yeast energizer, and 3 teaspoons of pectic enzyme. Also, you'll need a packet of yeast. They recommend EC 1118 by Lavalin, so that's what we're going to use. So that's your ingredients. Okay, so I've got all my stuff soaking in some sanitizer. We've got a mesh bag that we're going to put the fruit in. I've got an airlock, a spoon, you know, anything that you're going to need. We're sanitizing that. And then also we'll sanitize this bucket. So I'm heating up 1 gallon of water to dissolve our sugar in, just to make sure there's nothing in the sugar. Also, you know, heat it up, kind of sanitize the sugar a little bit. So we're going to do that. Once it's heated up, we'll go ahead and add our sugar to this and make like a simple syrup. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to go ahead and add in the 48 ounces of real lemon. We'll dump that down into our sanitized bucket here. Smells pretty lemony. Maybe because that's lemon. Okay, we got that all down in there. Okay, then it calls for 4 gallons of water. But I'm doing a gallon on the stove, remember, to do the sugar in. So I'm going to add 3 gallons of water to this. So I'll go ahead and get the 3 gallons of water in here. And then we'll show you what to do from there. Okay, now we're going to add our nutrients here. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of wine tannin. Three teaspoons of yeast nutrient. The lid's rolling away on me. One teaspoon of yeast energizer. And 3 teaspoons of pectic enzyme. This will help break that fruit down, and it'll also help in the clearing process too. If you guys have any questions on why I use this stuff or anything like that, feel free. I try to answer everybody's questions or try to get back to everyone. So thanks for everybody that watches my videos as well. Okay, so we'll give that a good stir now, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so our water's heated up, so we're going to go ahead and add our sugar in there. We'll dissolve it in there. I already did half of it. This is the other half, so this will make up our 20 cups. As you can see, it goes kind of milky. Once it's all dissolved in there, it'll go crystal clear and look like water again. And that'll be our simple syrup. And we'll add that down in there. Okay, as you can see, it's nice and clear again. so we'll go ahead and turn the heat off on that. And that's ready to go into our mixture. Okay, so now we've got our sugar ready over here in the pan. But before I dump it down in here while it's still warm, I want to get my fruit in here so it'll help break down the fruit and brings out the color as well. So I'm going to go ahead and dump all my fruit down in here. This has got 3 separate bags in it, so I'm just using some sanitized scissors and cutting the tops off of those and dumping it down in there. So I'll add all this fruit to it and then we'll come back. Okay, we've got all the berries down in there. Now we're going to dump the sugar water down in here. And then we'll give it a good stir. I'll stir it up real good and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Already the colors are starting to come out into the off of the berries, as you can see. Those berries will break down during fermentation. We'll come back and stir it as it ferments too. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to top it up to 6 gallons. We want to get it up to the 6-gallon mark. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've got it all topped up with to 6 gallons of water. I ended up adding about 1 gallon of water. I took a hydrometer reading. We're shooting for 1075. So it was a little bit low. It was about 1058. So I added 2 more cups of sugar to it. And if I can get it to show you, I'll show you where it just about 1078. See if we can get this to show up for you guys. Yeah, it's not gonna, maybe. So I can't get this thing to go over my camera on my phone so I can show you what the reading is, but it's 1.078. There's a peek at it. So now we're just going to cover it up with a towel for tonight and let it sit overnight. Let the preservatives in that lemon juice kind of air out of it, and then we'll pitch the yeast tomorrow. So we want to let it sit for at least 12 hours, but 24 hours is preferred. So somewhere between 12 to 24 hours with the towel over the top. So I'm actually just going to put this lid on. It is sanitized. We'll just set that on there. We're not going to snap it down. And then I'll throw a towel over the top. And we'll let that sit for 12 to 24 hours. Okay, so here's our dragon's blood. We're going to go ahead and uncover that. And take the lid off. Very nice color to it. We'll get a spoon and give it a stir here. Okay, so we sanitized the spoon up and we're gonna just give it a stir here. Mix it up a little bit. Then I'm just gonna take another hydrometer reading real quick before we pitch the yeast. Okay, so we'll sanitize this up. We'll pull a little sample out of here. We'll put it on our refractometer. You can also use a hydrometer for this too. This is just a lead easier. And it looks like we're at 1080. So that'll be good. Okay, so I've got a yeast starter here that I made. It's a Lavalin EC1118. That's the yeast that's recommended for this recipe. Probably because of the acid that's in the lemon juice. So we'll go ahead and pull that off the stir plate. And we'll just dump it down in here. We'll let our yeast start to work. Okay, and there she goes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and throw the lid on here. Spray it with some sanitizer just in case. Then We'll reach in here and grab our bung and our airlock. Put our bung in there. And put our airlock together here. Throw that down in there. Now we'll let that sit for 24 hours and we'll come back and check on it. Okay, so here's the dragon's blood 24 hours after we pitched the yeast. As you can see, the fruit's floating on the top. And you can see that there's signs of fermentation around the edges here. We're going to punch this fruit down because we want to keep it moist, otherwise it'll start to mold. So we want to stir this up every day just to keep everything moist for the first few days until we remove the fruit out of there. So it's just starting to ferment, just barely. But we'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing. So it's got a really nice color to it. So we'll just I'll sanitize the lid and put it back on, and we'll come back and check on it again tomorrow. Okay, day 2 of the dragon's blood fermentation. We'll go ahead and remove the lid there. And as you can see, we've got signs of fermentation. You can hear it sizzling. And once again, I take my sanitized spoon and we're going to punch this down just to keep it moist. Kind of mix it up a little bit. And then we'll just replace our lid. And I'll snap it down and we will come back and check on it again tomorrow. Here we are, day 4 of the dragon's blood. I did not record day 3 because we just come down and stirred it. But here it is. We'll punch the fruit down again. As you can see, it's fermenting away. So it's still fermenting pretty good. Probably be another day or 2 before we remove the fruit and transfer it to a carboy. But there we are. We'll take a hydrometer reading tomorrow or the next day and see where we're at. Okay, so here we are with the dragon's blood. As you can see, I've got a glove on here. I'm going to remove the lid. And we're going to lift this bag up out of here. And we're going to get rid of our fruit today. This is day 6. So the fruit's pretty much spent. I just got the glove on so I can slightly squeeze to get all the juice out of here that I can. Some people say don't do this. Some people say do. It's kind of your own preference what you want to do. Makes your wine take a little longer to clear up maybe, but I like to get everything out of here that I can. I don't squeeze it like real hard, I just gently push it out. And then I'll just dump out my fruit here. And that's it. Then I just dump the bag out here in a bucket, and I'll rinse the bag out and then wash it real good. Reuse it, but that's kind of what the fruit looks like when you're finished. And here's the wine. Still fermenting away. Maybe take a hydrometer reading on it and see where we're at. Okay, so I sanitized my hydrometer. I'll just drop it down in here and we'll get a reading, see where we're at. Still looks like it's fermenting pretty hard. Let's see if we can see where we're at here. Looks like it's down to about 1.105. So we'll probably transfer that into a carboy either tonight or tomorrow. So I'll show you how to do that when we get to it. Okay, so we're on day 7 of the Dragon's Blood wine. Open it up. As you can see, I've already moved it to the table from the floor here. I took a hydrometer reading and we're at 1020. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're at 1020. So we're going to go ahead and rack this down into a carboy now. Got my carboy sanitized. The foam that you see in there is just sanitizer. It's not going to hurt anything, and as we bring the wine up, it'll help sanitize as it comes up, and then it'll push out the top. Also, I'm going to be using my all-in-one wine pump. I don't know if you guys have seen this before or not. Some of you I'm sure have, but pretty good little tool. Anyway, you got a bottle here and then a line that runs through, and this will be the line that creates our gas here. Not gas, but our suction. So then we've got a racking cane hooked to that line, and this is just a bucket of sanitizer that I'm using, making sure everything's sanitized. So we'll put that racking cane down inside the bucket here. And then we've got another racking cane with a bung on it that's connected, and we put that down into our carboy here. And we want to make sure that our bung goes into our carboy because it works with, it'll take the compression out. So we'll go ahead and flip that on, and it should start racking for us. It'll take a second, but you'll see here in just a second it'll start going. There it goes. Down into our carboy here. And that way it limits air. You can actually put your lid back on here. And it works the same way when you're doing from carboy to carboy. That way there's no oxygen getting to it. That's one of the cool things about it. So anyway, you don't have to have this tool. You can just have a regular siphon tube or whatever. Just this is a really cool tool. Okay, I'll go ahead and rack that down in there, and I'll show you when it's finished. Okay, so here it is all in the carboy. Nice color to it. As you can see, it's got some clearing to do and some more fermenting to do. So yep, we'll just put her down here in the closet with the rest of them, and we'll check back with it in about a month probably. All right, cheers guys.